Welcome to Custom Home Builder Solutions Tutorials for the Web. This is the second video in a series of videos about how to use CHS to post your payroll to actual employees. In our first video we did an overview of the journal entry that screen that is made for you to be able to post payroll checks that have been prepared by your payroll service, or if you're setting it up for yourself to enter the amounts. The first screen showed how to use that journal entry screen. Now the next videos will be about the series of steps it takes to set up for that, and you'll only have to do these steps once. But if you are posting payroll and you are wanting to allocate some of the payroll to job costs, since this is a job costing program and an accounting program, you will need to set up a couple of accounts on your chart of accounts to use for doing this type of posting. So I've clicked the button for chart of accounts and have already opened my screen for the chart of accounts, and then I did a search for just the group in my chart of accounts, the 460 group, for direct construction costs. Indirect construction costs, because the NAHB chart of accounts that you can load will have superintendent salaries and superintendent and other construction wage salaries under indirect construction costs. So let's take a look at those. They have the salaries, superintendent salaries, labor, etc., and a place for the payroll taxes for construction wages. Now what we'd like to have into these types of accounts, the salaries accounts, is the actual amounts that are paid to our employees, not the amounts that we billed to job cost. So our journal entry window is set up to send the actual costs paid to the employees to a generic H job and have those go to accounts like this, salaries, so you can always pull a report of these to see what your actual salaries paid are. However, in our journal entry we also have a place to allocate and take the wages and put them over to job cost at a marked up billing rate. And so we need an account. We're going to post that probably to some work in progress account on our chart of accounts that's under assets, and we'll be posting that job cost there, as you saw in the first thing. In the NHB chart of accounts it's called direct construction costs, and that's a higher amount than what you actually paid the employee, but we need to have the offsetting area for that. So we need to set up on your chart of accounts, and if you're using the NAHB one, I would suggest that you set up an account number 4199. If you're brand new, this account will load for you when you load the NAHB cost chart of accounts, and call it something like wages burden applied to job costs, and put it in the section for indirect construction costs. This is where the credit side of the entry, or the amount that's going to be taken out of your income statement accounts for now and sent over to work in progress job costs, this is where those will be held. So you can always open this account and look at how much you've actually taken and allocated over to job costs. The total of this, when you have a combination of your construction wages and your superintendent wages, we have some earlier wages in here, by the way, will probably be should cover these basically, and cover the burden of your payroll taxes, the amount that you're taking, and that will depend on the billing rate you set up for each employee, the billing rate that you're going to be charging to the job. But basically that's all this particular tutorial is about, is setting up your chart of accounts to get ready for this, and you'll see how this all works in the additional videos about this. Now if you're not using indirect construction costs on your chart of accounts, and perhaps you're just using a simpler chart of accounts that may be similar to one that we also provide here, that does not have down here indirect construction costs because it's too complex for you, and just under your general and admin expenses you maybe have salaries, general salaries, you might have one called salaries construction on your general admin expenses, and you have one that's called payroll taxes, salaries, payroll taxes. In that case, if this is what you have on your chart of accounts, you might want to set up something that's like account number 8510 right under these salaries and payroll taxes, that's called wages allocated to job costs, if you are doing that. Now you can also post a journal entry that's just for an admin payroll that will probably be going to these types of accounts, and you're not job costing them at all. So you wouldn't need a contra account. If you're not doing any job costing of your payroll, then you don't need to worry about these contra accounts on your chart of accounts. But if you plan to do, they're called contra accounts because they're right underneath and hold the amounts that you're actually taking out and sending over to job costs. Also, if you do not use a work in progress account for your costs of your job and you post directly to cost of sales, you still may want to have those contra accounts set up so you can track your payroll in and out and then how much you've applied to a job. So you can discuss this with your accountant. Hopefully this will give you some idea. Basically, the purpose of this tutorial is that you need to decide on where to put that contra account that you're going to be using to hold the amounts that you've taken and applied to job costs. You can call me also and discuss that further if you need to. But basically, get your chart of accounts set up and set up a contra account there for that, and you'll see how we're using that when we set up the employees in the next videos. Thank you for watching.